Here's a rewritten version of the plot you gave me, expanded into a full article of about 10,000 characters, with a dramatic, tightly woven narrative that feels different from the original but still rooted in the same story beats. General Hospital's darkest twist, when Nathan isn't Nathan, and Britt fights to protect James ***. The beating heart of General Hospital has always been its ability to transform familiar faces into harbingers of shocking revelations, and this week's unfolding drama promises to push that legacy to terrifying new heights. In Port Charles, where secrets are currency and trust is often an illusion, Britt Westbourne is beginning to piece together a truth so horrifying it could shatter the fragile line between memory and identity. What begins as a tense reunion escalates into a dangerous mystery, one that may rewrite the lives of Britt, Nathan, and young James forever. From the moment Britt locks eyes with the man believed to be Nathan West, she senses something is wrong. The reunion, expected to be heartwarming or bittersweet, instead hums with unease. Nathan's demeanor is too still, too rehearsed, and though the world recognizes his DNA and fingerprints, Britt's instincts scream that this is not the brother she once knew. His strange glances, half-smiles, and unnerving silences hint at something darker lurking beneath the surface. If Nathan has indeed returned, then what part of him belongs to the man everyone once loved, and what part has been manipulated into existence by forces that thrive on chaos? Speculation in Port Charles is rampant. Whispers of memory implants and psychological conditioning circulate like wildfire, with many suspecting that Nathan has become yet another puppet of Caesar Faison or Peter August. These names haunt Britt's history like scars that never fade, and the possibility that their twisted experiments have resurrected Nathan as something less than human fills her with dread. The Nathan standing in General Hospital's corridors may be a construct, a man sculpted from technology and torment, carrying Nathan's face but none of his soul. And then there is James. The young boy who never had the chance to know his father now finds himself drawn into a reunion no child should ever have to face. For James, the possibility of meeting Nathan is monumental, a dream come true. As he steps off the elevator with hope shining in his eyes, Britt feels her stomach twist with fear. To James, this is a long-awaited introduction. To Britt, it is an ambush, a nightmare dressed in familiar skin. She knows she cannot shield him from the meeting, but she braces for what comes after, aware that once James looks into Nathan's eyes, the question of truth versus deception will become impossible to avoid. Britt's horror grows as she imagines the consequences of allowing this version of Nathan into James' life. Children have an innocence that makes them both vulnerable and resilient, but exposing James to someone who might not truly be his father risks trauma that could never be undone. Britt is cornered, powerless to stop the first encounter, yet determined to confront Nathan afterward. The look in her eyes suggests she is preparing for war, and the battlefield will be defined not by blood, but by memory, trust, and betrayal. The confrontation is inevitable. Britt, never one to shy away from speaking the unspeakable, is rumored to unleash 6 words that cut through the tension like a scalpel. James didn't deserve to be hurt. These words, sharp and sorrowful, strike at the heart of the matter. For Britt, the return of Nathan, or the imitation of Nathan, is not merely a matter of identity. It is about the cost of deception, the pain inflicted on an innocent child, and the unresolved grief that already scars their family. If this man is indeed an imposter, his motives remain cloaked in shadow. Some believe he is improvising after a failed mission, caught in Port Charles by accident. Others argue that his arrival is far more deliberate, that he has come not as a savior or a father, but as a courier of destruction. Whispers in the underbelly of the city suggest connections to drug deliveries, broken alliances, and secret experiments buried deep within the GH crisis. Whatever his story, one thing is certain, the collision between his hidden agenda and Britt's fierce protectiveness is bound to explode. The most chilling possibility is that Nathan himself may not even be aware of his own transformation. If his mind has been rewritten, if memories from Faison or Peter bleed into his thoughts, then Nathan's very sense of self has been compromised. How does a man fight for his family when the fragments of his identity belong to someone else? For Britt, this is the ultimate terror, not only facing an enemy wearing her brother's face, but the potential reality that some piece of Nathan still exists within him, trapped, pleading for freedom. The emotional stakes could not be higher. Britt's past mistakes have often left her ostracized, yet this moment defines her as a mother figure, a sister, and a woman scarred by loss. She cannot allow history to repeat itself, not with James' heart hanging in the balance. If this confrontation escalates, Britt may find herself forced to make an unthinkable choice, to expose Nathan as a fraud and shatter James' dream of knowing his father, or to remain silent and risk allowing the boy to fall under the influence of a dangerous pretender. The path forward promises no easy answers. Britt's warning, sharp and direct, signals a turning point not only for her but for the entire West family legacy. The streets of Port Charles have always been littered with secrets, but this time the danger is more intimate. It isn't about crime families or mob wars. It's about the fragility of memory, the manipulation of love, and the innocence of a child standing at the center of a storm he cannot comprehend. As spoilers hint at Britt's hardline approach in the episodes to come, viewers must brace themselves for a sequence of escalating confrontations. Britt's fear may sharpen into rage, her rage into strategy, and her strategy into sacrifice. She may be willing to lose everything, her career, her freedom, even her life, if it means saving James from being broken by the man who wears his father's face. In a city where alliances shift daily and betrayals hide behind every closed door, General Hospital is preparing to test the boundaries of how far one woman will go to protect a child. With each passing episode, the question deepens, is Nathan truly gone, or has he returned in the most twisted way imaginable? And more importantly, when the truth finally surfaces, will James still have a chance to grow up unscarred, or will this deception mark him forever? For now, all eyes are on Britt. She may be flawed, she may be haunted, but she is also unyielding. And when she says, James didn't deserve to be hurt, it is not just a plea, it is a declaration of war. Would you like me to continue this into a multi-part series article, like Part 1, Britt's Suspicion, Part 2, James' Encounter, Part 3, The Confrontation, so that you can use it as structured narration for a YouTube script? That could stretch it even further while keeping it gripping and organized.